Rolling Stone's gaming editor attacked me. And Rolling Stone's gaming editor is a dude that I had a run in with back when Alyssa first started working at Rolling Stone.
Rolling.
And he ended up blocking me the same day that I initially started communicating with him. And I was like, oh, this dude hardcore is falling for Alyssa and simping for her. And it's so weird that he's defending everything about her. I'm like, this is, in my humble opinion, someone who does not represent an organization well. You're more than welcome to hire her on, but it seems like he's choosing his allegiance to someone that is not looked highly upon in the gaming community. So I guess you make the bed that you lay in.
Rolling Stone magazine has attacked me. The senior gaming editor at Rolling Stone, Cruz, has attacked me. He had to defend his Lady Gaga, his ethics in drunk, unemployed journalism, Alyssa Mercante today, who everybody got triggered because just the other day I practically called her out on her hypocrisy for saying that I use ChatGPT. And it got so bad and so pathetic for her that even Smash JT covered it. You can see here's a tweet where he said, Alyssa Mercante allegedly uses ChatGPT for Rolling Stone. We're going to talk about this because I think this was a pretty good gotcha. She got caught and her fans put her foot in her own mouth. But
yeah, this situation, just a quick refresher. If you guys missed what happened, covered this last night. One of her fans, when Eric and Alyssa were going back and forth having a conversation, and Eric responded with a very well thought out and cooling the temperature of the room, just be like, all right, let's just put our weapons down and just let's just move on from this. And Alyssa still kept going like a chihuahua. One of Alyssa's simps came in and circled all of the M dashes on Eric's post and said, M dashes are from ChatGPT. That's how you know this guy couldn't even write his own tweet. And Eric came back with one of the greatest clapbacks I have ever seen on social media. And I'm not even being facetious or exaggerating when I say that. He came back circling the M dashes in Alyssa's Rolling Stone gaming article and said, oh, you mean these things that Alyssa uses in the professional writing? So one of her own fans ended up screwing her over. It was hysterical. He was trying to defend her, and all it did was expose her. It was really funny. But anyways.
But Cruz said, how profoundly effing stupid do you have to be to think that using an M dash means Chat GPT actually illiterate? And I completely agree on that. I 110% agree. But
by the way, 8-Bit Eric has been crushing it lately, and he's on the road to 100,000 subscribers. Let me share his channel in the chat right now. This is the video that I'm watching. Check him out. Give him a sub. He's been crushing it lately. Absolutely crushing it.
Quick, Mr. Cruz. I have what's called a English degree, right?
This is and he's bringing the receipts.
Degree. And I got magna cum laude for it at A&M San Antonio. Magna cum laude. Look, read that. Bachelor of Arts, magna cum laude, English degree, and I had teacher certification with it. So I'm not illiterate. I'm far from that. But what you just showed me today is that your journalist degree went to shits. There was some kind of death threat on Smash JT on his Twitter account. Somebody said somebody needs to take care of Smash for good in real life, and she took it down. Now I'm blocked, so let's go ahead and open this up so you guys can see the actual tweet. She told me to please correct it because she told this guy to please take it down. She didn't want or support that talk here. And I actually gave her props. Mm-hmm. They want people to retract statements, but when it's time for them to retract, they still somehow try to find a way to twist it and blame it on the person who did nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. She's the one that says creators are responsible for their audiences, that if they're echoing and mirroring their talking points, they're responsible for that individual. So good on you for doing this. But I hope this showed you that you aren't responsible for your audience.
By the way, that's the point that we've all been trying to tell her. is she's saying that we are responsible for what we curtail and gather the audience that follows us, and we are responsible somehow for everything that everyone says who writes anything ever that follows us. And I'm like, that's not how social media works. Like, are you insane if you think that? And then it started happening against her, and we pointed that out. And it wasn't to be like, look, haha, it's happening to you. It was more to point out, like, look, here's proof as to why you're wrong, because you cannot control what people say. That's all we were trying to say.
Even though you told that guy to not put that stuff, you're not responsible for them. Just like we're not responsible for anything that you get your way. I don't condone harassment, threats. I disavow it. But it's not going to invalidate fair, honest criticism like this video just because you get it from people that watch me or watch Hypnotic or Smash or Toasty or. So she told me, please correct this with as much energy as you have, spread false info. I told this person I didn't want, need, or support, blah, blah, blah. I said this, and I think this was an honest response.
This is the response with the M dashes in it.
I said, thanks for addressing the tweet and getting it taken down. Honestly, this is the first time I've seen you publicly push back against a threat made towards your critics, and that's worth acknowledging. Is that not giving somebody props?
No, it was a very fair take.
Last time I checked, that's giving somebody some props. So that said, we can't spend our time trying to police the actions of people who aren't us. No one can control the internet, and trying to is a battle you're guaranteed to lose, which is facts. I'm not going to police you guys. You guys are all grown. You guys know right from wrong. If you get in trouble with the law, that's on you. It's not on me. So unless someone explicitly encourages bad behavior,
which, by the way, I don't think Eric addresses if he used ChatGPT or not in this post. I think he kind of glazes over talking about that, which kind of makes me think he did. But here's the thing. It's like I said in my, and this is not like running defense for him, but what I said in my initial take on the situation is the dude's a YouTuber. He's not writing for Rolling Stone. And this is a tweet to cool the temperature. It's a very different situation than writing a fucking article about video games. Okay, these are very different things. If you're trying to hold 8-Bit Eric to the same standards of a quote unquote professional journalist that has integrity with what they write, I feel like there's a distinction that needs to be made between the two.
Them for what anonymous strangers do is both unfair and baseless. And guess what? It's also borderline defamation to say that you're getting R-word threats or death threats just because of somebody. That's borderline defamation. We can go back and forth all day pointing fingers, asking each other to rein in people on our side, but that's not how any of this works, and we both know it. I could just as easily pull up threats, insults, and flat-out unhinged messages from people in your replies. I get them in my DMs and my email, and while I'm live, just the other day, someone literally sent me a video of their butthole, which is true. That's the kind of stuff we're dealing with. And honestly, the smartest move is not to react, which, yeah, the smartest move is to not react, Alyssa. If somebody said...
Well, this is the thing that we keep going back to with Alyssa, where things happen and she needs to spurg out because she's learned in the past when she spurgs out, she gets attention. Whether it's good or bad or indifferent, doesn't matter. Attention to her is currency of the internet, and she will get that attention any way possible. It goes back to when I was trying to tell her to drop the lawsuit, the ridiculousness of this lawsuit. It is not a great look for her, I would argue. And she's upset at me making all these videos talking about her and talking about live streams. Do you think that there'd be the same amount of traction on the videos if I was not being sued by her? Sure, there'd still be people that cared, but I feel like people would have a lot more fatigue from the situation a lot quicker than with the ongoing lawsuit. I feel like people have a lot more invested interest in finding out what the stupid thing is she did today based off of how she's still suing someone while she keeps stepping on rakes.
Threats, don't post about it. Don't screenshot it. Don't acknowledge it. That's what they want. As for my little friend, which is Smash, this is what I told her. He's a grown man making his own content. I'm not here to tell anyone what they can or can't say. Everyone has the right to speak their mind. Criticism is fair game, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it's not fair. That set her off. That set her off. So here's where the good stuff gets. She put, you tagged him how many times to get his attention, retweeted his video, pushing false information. And
that's rich, by the way. Alyssa saying that that my video has false information. This is the same Alyssa Mercante that clipped me out of context to make it sound like I'm saying something much worse about a situation. And she posted that video herself. She's saying that I am the one with the false information. Please, details, Alyssa. What false information are you referring to that I am pushing?
And you think this ChatGPT ass answer gives you the moral high ground. So she's the one that first said.
So she's the one that brings it in, by the way. Alyssa was the one that accuses the ChatGPT first. So again, we have her shoveling shit over the fence. And when the shit gets shoveled back on top of her, she cries harassment. Here we go. She started it again. This is a great prime example for everything she does.
GPT, right? Keep that in mind. Where's the same energy as when you were tattle tagging? Where's the, hey, dude, actually, we were wrong. So I was tattle tagging. So you are saying that your audience did something wrong, right? That's an admission right there. So here's this person by the name of My Human Equation. And this is where they start to say that I use ChatGPT. They said this is a dead giveaway that
notice how Eric doesn't address that. Which again makes me think he did, but at the same time, I literally do not care if you use ChatGPT in a tweet. That doesn't, who cares? It's information. It's a, if you want to read it, you can. If you don't, you don't. You're not looking for like full on integral journalism from a tweet. Like, what the hell?
Use ChatGPT has a habit of doing this and it tracks every time. So they're pointing out the M dashes.
Mm-hmm.
The M dashes that were in my thing.
Which is, by the way, if you guys saw when Master TDS was on here doing the Smash Masters with me, he pointed this out when we were covering the Sweet Baby Ink stuff. And I was like, oh, I never realized that. And now you can't unsee it. When the M dashes are in stuff, that typically means that somebody most likely used ChatGPT. Could you use M dashes without it? Sure. Can some people do it? Of course they can. But it kind of goes back to the same thing with, like, just because you use a rainbow doesn't make you gay. It's like, well, right, there are some people that just like to have a rainbow in their house, but you're probably gonna be gay if you got the rainbow. It is what it is. The M dash has been stolen from humanity by ChatGPT. Humans can no longer use the M dash anymore.
Very interesting. So I wrote back, go on, and showed
the most epic slapback ever.
Article. Right, this Rolling Stone article, April 28th, 2025, from Alyssa Mercante herself. And weird. There's M dashes there. So,
and also ChatGPT will bold and underline and italic stuff for you automatically. Again, not saying that this is proof positive that she used ChatGPT, but it's not the best look. And it's funny when she's the one that threw the first stone. And now when it comes back at her, she cries harassment, as always.
If I'm using ChatGPT according to Alyssa and to her followers, like My Human Equation, what does this mean? Somebody want to answer that? What does that mean? Does that mean she's using ChatGPT? Anyone? Oh, I figured that. So, of course, Cruz went on his little tangent.
Oh, snap. We're getting rated by the Angry Badger. Shout out to the Angry Badger. You rock, bro. Thank you. Welcome. Appreciate you, man.
Today, I'm not the one that said using an M dash means ChatGPT. Your writer for your gaming division, senior gaming editor, said it. Her followers said it. I'm just saying, hey, she wrote for your publication using M dashes. Does that mean she's using ChatGPT? So I wrote to him, hey there, Mr.
Chris Cruz.
Quick question. Want to explain this one? Alyssa and her crew were so sure I used ChatGPT just because of how I write. But surprise! It's all over her writing too. So what's the difference? Are you finally admitting they were full of it? Because if you are, oof, big oof. That's a major yikes. She writes for your publication while throwing around accusations and defaming people for doing the exact same thing she does, right? So just to point it out, and guess what happened as a result of that? Mr. Mr. Christopher, blocked me. Blocked already.
And I'm blocked by this guy as well. After trying to communicate with him initially when it got found out that Alyssa was working at Rolling Stone, he was big mad at me for I don't remember what it was because it was so long ago, but he was big mad and blocked me. I was like, all right.
Weak. Thin skin. I
Mhm.
said, ladies and gentlemen, meet Chris Cruz, senior gaming editor at Rolling Stone, apparently allergic to accountability. I asked him a fair professional question after he personally attacked me. And what did he do? Passed the buck and ran for cover. Real leadership vibes, huh? If this is the kind of paper thin skin running Rolling Stone's gaming division, it's no wonder that whole side of the brand is circling the drain. Good luck keeping it afloat when the editor in chief folds at the first sign of criticism. So typical, on brand. Guys, please go check out this banger video on Smash's second channel. Shout outs to Smash. And guys, if you're a fan of Smash, I'm the guy that dances with the McRib on his videos. So please subscribe. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers. It's been a hot minute since I've talked Mercante, but she's been trying to get my attention all week. It's really cute. It's adorable. She's playing hard to get, honestly. And she showed me that she really loves me and that she wants my attention. So what better way to give it than to actually call out her using M dashes as well? So if I use ChatGPT, does she? Just something to think about. And she's telling people to please correct information and stuff. How about you correct the information though? If an M dash doesn't mean that you use ChatGPT, but it means I did because I have them.
Double standards.
Because I have them in my writing, but you have them in yours too. It means I use ChatGPT.
Yeah, because there's no way she would ever do it, but you're you, Eric, which means you would definitely do it, but not her because she has integrity or something.
But you don't. How does that work? Again, is it because I'm just a right wing chud? I think that's what it is. So another failure. I've been catching her in it all week long. I mean, to the point where she's so triggered that she's posting clips of me from when I was drunk, looking at a thumbnail of her boobs, like it's a gotcha. Let me go ahead and pull that up there because that's fucking hilarious each and every single time. I said, Alyssa Mercante is so salty. She dug up a tweet from a year ago, and the gotcha is what? A straight dude clicked a thumbnail of boobs, groundbreaking. You got me. Oh, you got me. Right. So she's against me this week. The other week she was against Cassie. She's always daydreaming against Smash. She was against Toasty for a little bit. Ryan Roger Thay. We already seen this song and dance, guys. She needs this interaction and this engagement for her book. Okay. Her legacy right now is trying to get all of this stuff compiled so she could write this book about how she's some kind of big martyr in Gamergate and some kind of victim and that she powered through it all when it's all just bullshit. It's a trap. Don't fall for what she's trying to do, guys. She's been exposed time and time again. At this point, let's just point and laugh at her because that's all that's left.
Well, the problem with that approach is then that can be construed as harassment under YouTube's terms of service, which again, it's a bait tactic from Alyssa because she knows that. She is desperately throwing bait out there for people to point and laugh at her so that she can go cry to YouTube about, oh, I'm being harassed. I'm being harassed. It's like, no, you're not. People are literally just pointing and laughing and commentating on the retarded things that keep happening, which it's not specific to just you, Alyssa. This is the internet. Many channels cover many people that do retarded things. In fact, I dare to say that I've done retarded things in the past, and people have covered me and poked at me and laughed at me and pointed at, said how stupid I am. I didn't go run to daddy YouTube and complain and cry about, oh, they're talking about me. They're talking about, no, who the fuck cares? They can talk about me till the cows come home. Have at it. But when you start reporting and trying to deplatform and take away people's funding sources, I have to draw a line with all that. And I am currently trying to figure out what we can even do to fight back with this. But as of right now, it is a very, very frustrating situation. And again, going back to the Atreus situation, I'm very hopeful that YouTube does the right thing, but not going to hold my breath. Anyways, big shout out to 8-Bit Eric for another banger video. Crushing it, bro. And thank you for all that you do.